Alhamdulillah nahmaduhu wa nasta'inuhu wa nastaghfiruhu wa nu'minu bihi wa natawakkalu alayhi. Wa na'udzu billahi min shururi anfusina wa min sayyiati a'malina. May yahdihillahu fala mudilla lahu wa may yudlil fala hadiya lahu. Asyhadu an la ilaha illallah wa asyhadu anna Muhammadan abduhu wa rasuluh. Sallallahu alaihi wasallam tabaraka wa sallama tasliman kasiran kasira amma ba'd. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Wa man ahsanu qawlan mimman da'a ilallah wa amila salihan wa qala innani minal muslimin. My dear brothers and respected elders, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the doer of everything. Allah does, and only with the permission of Allah, the man or whoever of his creation will be able to do. Without his permission, none of his creation, including man, will be able to do anything. So the doer is Allah, the creator is Allah, the nourisher is Allah, the sustainer is Allah. The one who is able to give anything that we want to have is only Allah. We may ask the sky. If Allah wants to give, Allah will give us to us. We may ask even a very small thing, but if Allah doesn't want to give, we will never be able to get it. So Allah is the one who has created the heavens and the earth, and He has created the paradise and hellfire. And He has given us a time to live in this world, in order to be able to test us as to who among us will believe in Him, will obey His orders in the way shown by His prophets, with the intention to please Him. And only those who has decided to believe in Him, to believe in His messengers, to believe in the day of Akhirah, will be blessed with paradise. But those who are not willing to obey Him, to believe in Him, to follow His messenger, to believe in the day of hereafter, will be made to enter hellfire. So the time will come when we will die and we will pass away from this life. And what we will bring out from this world is only our actions, either bad or good actions. So what are important are not our wealth, are not our whatever worldly material that we have amassed or earned in this world, but whatever actions, good action that we are able to earn while living in this world. What are good actions? The good actions are when we are able to obey the orders of Allah in the way Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, with the intention to please Him, to please Allah. If we pray, is seemingly a good action. But if it's done not in the way of Muhammad sallam, not with the intention to please Allah, then it's not a good deed. To Allah, it's not a good deed. Many people may think, oh, it's a good deed. He's praying, he's fasting, he's going to pilgrimage to Mecca, he pays charity. But if it is not done in the way of Muhammad sallam and not with the intention to please Allah, all that actions are not good action, not the action which are accepted by Allah. And if we are unable to bring the actions, good action, the action which are done, because it is the order of Allah in the way of Muhammad sallam with the intention to please Allah, to the life in the hereafter, then we are a failure. But it means we are a failure, we will enter hellfire and not paradise. So the life in this world is a very short time. Some people are given even shorter, not even born, died in having a still death in the womb of the mother, not even able to enter into the world. Some died few days, few months after being born. You know, some died at the age of 40, 50, some died to hundreds. Now there's one Vice Chancellor, ex-Vice Chancellor of the University of Malaya, Ko Aziz, he just passed away at the age of 98. We have known him for a very, very long time. We have heard about him for a very, very long time. Only now, at the age of 99, he has passed away. So Mahdi is 94. He will also be among those who will die, probably at the age of 100 or 100 over. We didn't know. But Rashidi, at the age of 40 now, 45, 44, you probably don't know.
No.
Will be able to reach 100?
No, I don't.
But he's fairly sick person now, even at the age of 44. He has a lot of sicknesses. So many. And his team. When I look at his high risk, you know, I can somehow see it is a very not good tissues. He hasn't got good tissues. He's actually he's born with his brother, twin. He's a twin brother. The first one, his brother, and then after that he come out from the womb. But he has been kept in the incubator. How many months?
2 months.
2 months. Then all the milk of his mother being sucked by his elder brother. None for him. He has to drink the cow milk. So you can see. So he's not very healthy from the day he's born. I don't think he will go up to 100. Not even 50 probably. So be careful. Have you become the true believer of the good deeds yet? You must make sure that you must become one as soon as possible. The true believer of the good deeds. So we should become the true believer of the good deeds, or even better, the lover of Allah before we die. Okay? If you want to be successful in this world and in the after, you should become the true believers with good deeds. Even better, the true believers, the true lovers of Allah, the lovers of Allah before we die. Either at what age, no matter. Either at 90, at 40, at 30. But we must become the true believers with good deeds. Or even better, the lover of Allah. But very few will become the lover of Allah, and very few also become the true believer with good deeds. But because there are very few who make the correct effort. The reason as to why there are not many people who become the true believer with good deeds, because they are not doing any effort to make them to become one. They don't want to do the correct effort, the true effort. And the true effort is the effort which has been done by Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. So if we don't follow the sunnah of Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, we are a person who have recited the kalima, but we are the person who are deviated from the true path, gone astray. But if we have not recited the kalima, the great kalima, or we declined to recite the kalima, or we have recited the kalima but the recitation of the kalima are not accepted by Allah, then we become the people whom the wrath of Allah falls on them. So the rest of Allah falls on those who are not willing or to recite the kalima, who decline to recite the kalima, or due to certain reason their recitation of kalima are not accepted by Allah. They are the non-believers, the Christian, the Jews, and the hypocrites, all included in the group. The rest of Allah falls on them. And who falls on the group or who follow on the deviated path is those who have recited the kalima and who do not do the work, the great sunnah of Rasulullah, which is the work of inviting people to Allah or the work of inviting people to good, forbidding people from evil. How many in this world are doing the work? There are almost none, except those who follow me to a certain extent. Other than that, they don't. So those are all included under the people have gone astray. And all these people have gone astray, and all these people whom the rest of Allah falls on them are the people who don't follow the sunnah of the Prophet Muhammad SAW. So the correct path, the true path, when we make dua in Surah Fatihah, to you we worship, to you we ask. Please, Ya Allah, guide us to the true path, the straight path. The path of those whom we are blessed with virtues. And this is the path of Muhammad SAW. And the person whom Allah has given virtues are Muhammad SAW and all the other prophets of Allah. For us is Prophet Muhammad SAW. So to follow the Sunnah Salam is to follow the correct path, the straight path. And when we talk to follow the Sunnah Rasulullah, we must talk about the first Sunnah, the great Sunnah. Because we cannot follow the Sunnah Rasulullah without following the great one. When only we follow the great one, only then we follow the small one. Anyway, not that when we marry two or we follow Sunnah, when we have beard or we follow Sunnah. That all small Sunnah will only become Sunnah when we follow the great Sunnah, the first Sunnah, which Allah mentioned in the Quran. O Muhammad, tell to them, this is my Sunnah, this is my path. When Allah SWT says, Kul hazihi sabili ada'u ilallah ala basiratin ana wa manitabani, Allah is asking the Prophet ﷺ to tell mankind, that this is my Sunnah, this is my path, this is my Sunnah. Means there are many Sunnah, but this is my great Sunnah lah. To call people to Allah. Did Azri understand this? He did not understand. That's why when he go back to his place, birthplace, what is his name? Baling, hometown, well known with terrorism. The terrorists in Malaysia mostly originate from Baling, spark from Baling. They are the terrorists. But they think they are good Muslims. These terrorists in Malaysia are mostly from Baling. And they think they are good Muslim. And he's one of them, the terrorist, Azri from Baling. He thinks that the Sunnah of Rasulullah is to grow chilies and cucumber. He left the work of inviting people to Allah because he doesn't understand. And that is the Sunnah, the great Sunnah. Even I told him that before he left for Baling, he was with me from 2004. But 2009, 2008 or something like he left again to Bali to become terrorist. While doing terrorism, he do agriculture. He want to become like other people, living the work of Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, and that is actually living the true path. He's making dua day in and day out. That, oh Allah, give me guidance to the true path. But he never understand what he has been asking. He has been given to a certain extent that path to do the work. At that time we invite only Muslim to Allah. But still, partially, is a path of Nabi Sallam. But when I started to invite also the non-Muslim, he ran away. That means he doesn't understand. He doesn't understand that verse of the Quran. Although he recited it, although he prayed, asking Allah to guide him to the true path, has never been accepted, his prayer in his salat. Been reciting Fatiha almost every rakat of his prayer since the time when he start praying. What age are you? Start praying? At the age of 13. Until he is still not being guided. You see, the same happened to all the so-called Muslims nowadays, the believers who are praying and been asking Allah day in and day out in their prayer to guide them to the true path. They are still not guided. Their prayer are not accepted because their dua is not accepted. Their prayer are not accepted. Why their dua in the Fatiha is not accepted? Because their prayer are not accepted. And naturally their prayer in their dua which they have recited in Surah Fatiha are not accepted. Similarly goes to Yazid, to everyone. Your dua all this while are not accepted. When you do not follow, you are not given the tawfiq to follow the correct path. And the correct path is to follow the sunnah of Rasulullah. And Allah says in the Quran, this is my sunnah. Tell them, this is my work. My sunnah, when Rasulullah says, Allah told him to tell the whole mankind, this is my path. It's my work. That is my sunnah. Work means is sunnah. Is to call people to Allah with firm belief. And this is my path and the path of those who follow me. Then, so we have to follow the sunnah. If you don't follow the sunnah of inviting people to Allah, then we are not on the correct path. Yazid, you know. So those people who run away from me when I started doing the work of inviting the non-believers to recite the kalima, those who have who want to go out in the wrong path, gone astray. There are more than 200-300 people. They are all the so-called, they are all being known as good Muslim, so-called, praying, doing gash. That time we are only inviting Muslim to do this work. We so don't know how to do the work, but at least to a certain extent on the way to go to the correct path. And yet, when we really go to the correct path, when we invite the non-believers to recite the kalima and to remind the believers about the kalima and to invite them to do the work of dawah, run away. They run away. That means they run away from the true path. Their dua, their prayer in Fatiha, which they made for so many years, decades, has gone, unaccepted. It is a sign that their dua are not accepted, their salat are not accepted. All Muslims' dua are not accepted if they do not do this path. If they do not do the work as I told them to do, that is to invite people to Allah, to invite people to good and forbidding people from bad, from evil, in the way Muhammad SAW, with the intention to please Allah. If they are not willing to do this work, they are in the wrong path. And the wrong path, they have gone astray, is the people of hellfire. Like Sufyan. Sufyan? you will become the people will go to the hellfire if you don't obey and follow the sunnah. The sunnah of Rasulullah is not only to invite people to Allah in your locality, like Sufyan Ting and Effendi. Because when I told him you go for 4 months, he said no. That means he's not willing to do the work for the whole world. Go 3 days? No. 40 days? No. I'm only local work. This is not following the sunnah of the Prophet ﷺ. The work of Prophet ﷺ is to invite the entire mankind to Allah. That means we have to invite everyone, either in our locality, in our city, in our country, in our neighboring country, in the whole world to Allah, So we must allocate times for that. Daily we should do the local work, daily. Monthly, 3 days we must spend in enabling at least 3 days. It can be more or less than 5 days, or 1 day to 5 days, at least, to our suburb, in our city. In a year we should spend at least minimum 40 days, and at time we spend 4 months in a year to go far countries. That should be the tertib that we should follow. If we are to do this work of Muhammad SAW for the entire world, we are not sent as we like. We are sent by Allah, and Allah have sent Muhammad SAW to be the messenger for the entire mankind till the day of Akhirah, till the day of doomsday. So we must be willing to follow the sunnah. We must be willing to do the local work, must be willing to spend time 3-4 days in a month to work in our neighboring suburbs. We must be able to spend in a year 4 months or 40 days to spend time in neighboring countries and other far countries in the whole world. If we are not willing to do that, like Sufyan and Azri and Pendi, who only want to do local work because they want to make money the rest of the month, the rest of the year, they don't want to make. They want to go for 3 days like Pendi at times, isn't it? Isn't it, Pendi? And Sufyan too, isn't it? So if you are not willing to do that, then you are not following the sunnah. Nabi SAW sent Jamaat to Yaman, sent Jamaat to Riyadh, not only to fight, but to give dawah. He himself sometime. So these are the work that Muslims should do. All of work. Do the local work. Some only want to go abroad for sightseeing, not doing dawah. Spend time away from wife, children. But the local work they don't want to do. And these are the people, also the people who do not want to follow the sunnah of Rasulullah. So the work to invite people to Allah or to invite people to group forbidding people are not to be done occasionally, like one of our friend, do once in a week. Only gush once in a week. They come here from Ampang. And that is not the way. Or I want to do only 3 days in a week. All that may be some effort to go to the truth. But this work of inviting people to Allah has to be done daily. In the locality, at the minimum 45 minutes. And it's better to do 1.5 hours. 45 minutes in the morning and 45 minutes in the evening. And to spend time 3 to 4 days or to 5 days to do work in neighboring suburb of our city. And to spend 4 months, 40 days to 4 months in a year to do works in neighboring countries and all over the world. This we should do. Whether we like it or we don't. We don't think about earning money only. We should use the money that we earn to do this work. Besides giving money also to the orphans, to the poor and the needy, to the travelers who are having problem, seeking shelters and food. We should help them. Besides that money used for these people, we should use the money at the maximum, to do the work of Nabi, to do the work of inviting people to good, forbidding people from evil, in our locality, in our city, in our country, and all the countries of the world. We are not sent in this world to earn money, like Rashidi thinks. We are not here to earn money. Money is not our purpose. It's only a means that we need to use in order to survive, to have some form of shelter, a house, some form of transport, car or motor. That's all. It's not the purpose. The purpose is to become the lover of Allah. In order to become the lover of Allah, the way and the path that we should follow is the true path, the correct path. The path of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Without following this path, we will never be on the correct path. And Allah has explicitly mentioned in the Quran, Kul hazihi sabili ad'u ilallah ala basiratin ana wa manitabani. You can't erase this verse from the Quran. It is there, not now, from the time it was revealed. More than 1,400 years ago, but has never been obeyed. People say the work of Nabi is for Nabi. The work of Muhammad is for Muhammad. To invite people to Allah is only the work of Muhammad, not our work. We are only his followers. This ayat is not saying that. This ayat is saying this is my path and the path will follow me. Are you not the followers of Muhammad sallallahu? If you are not, you are on the deviated path, You are gone astray. If you are not. If you are not following Muhammad sallallahu, even though you recite the kalima, La ilaha illallah Muhammad Rasulullah, but you are included in the group in Surah Fatihah, Waladhalin, Ghairil maghdubi alaihim is for those who had declined to recite the kalima. When they are invited to recite the kalima, they declined. Or they have recited the kalima, but their recitation of their kalima are not accepted by Allah, the hypocrites and the munafiqin. So under this group will include all the non-believers, all the Christians, all the Jews, all those who follow all other religion other than the religion of Islam, and all the hypocrites. All is in this group. The wrath of Allah falls on them. And you, Pendi and Sufyan, and all those who do not follow the Sunnah of Rasulullah are included under those who have gone astray. Waladhalin. You may be praying, but you are actually cursing yourself. When you say Waladhalin, it is you, not other people. Because you have recited the kalima and yet you refuse to do this work. If you want to do this work partially and not in the way of Muhammad sallallahu, that means you are not trying to follow. Like Rashidi, are not willing to do this work with patience, with sacrifice of his wealth. That is also not included in those who follow Muhammad sallallahu. He is also among those who are deviated from the correct path. Waladhalin. We have to follow Muhammad sallallahu to the accepted level, the level which are accepted by Allah. We may not be able to do Hajj from morning till evening, but Allah has given us a moment in the morning and a moment in the evening. 45 minutes. Why we cannot do that? We may not be able to sacrifice so much, but we must be able to sacrifice some part. Not to become stingy. like Sufyan. No? Do not want to sacrifice his money, his wealth, to go out in the path of Allah for 3 days, 4 months, wanting only to do the local work and getting married. You know, tomorrow he will go get married. To an old lady. He's old also. Why he should be ashamed of marrying another old woman? But that old lady has never married. We call in Malay anda tu, anak dara tua. Then he will go with Azri on travelling to that place. I don't think he will talk about Allah. He will talk only about the girls and what he will do after the marriage. So Sufyan will start to enjoy that tomorrow night he will be sleeping with that girl as a wife. And that he likes. To go for 3 days, he doesn't like. He often go for only 1 day, 2 days. Others have gone for 3 days. He doesn't want to go for 4 months. But now to have that lady, he needs to spend 8,000. If he's not willing to give, the father of the lady said no marriage. So he gets scared and start to collect money and get it from anywhere. So Sufyan is able to do that. Why he is not able to go for 4 months? To spend 8,000 or to spend 6,000 when he will get something better than a lady. That is Iman, and the price of that Iman is paradise. What's the price of that lady? Is only the vagina. He can insert his penis into the vagina of the lady and then ejaculates. And then he feels the nice sensations. So he's willing to spend 8,000. But the same money, he was not willing to go in the path of Allah and to spend time 4 months. That means he loved this world more than Allah and His Rasul. And that's why he's included among those who have gone astray. And those who have gone astray and those whom Allah rest fall on them are the dwellers of hellfire. And those who follow Muhammad Salam on the right path, who succeeded to become the true believer of the good deeds, and even the lover of Allah, are the dwellers of paradise. The life in this world is only for a while, will not be long. Soon we all die and be forgotten. Nobody will remember us anymore, my dear. You know, Uncle Aziz very popular one time. But then when he has retired from becoming the Vice Chancellor of the University of Malaya, nobody talk about him anymore. Then little bit sometime, when he pass away, he will be totally forgotten. So all of us will be the same. Why should we worry about the enjoyment of the life of this world? Like Rashidi. We should be thinking of the eternal felicity, eternal peace and tranquility, happiness of the hereafter. That is the destination, the place that we are going to go forever, ever and ever. We should think of that life much more than thinking about the life of this world. Sufyan should be ready and willing to spend even more than 8,000 to strive in the path of Allah and to spend more time than just spending 8,000 to marry a lady. If I can spend 8,000 to marry a lady only because I want to fulfill my desire, my lust, you know, why should I spend the same amount or even more in the path of Allah? If I'm a wise man, if I'm a fool, then truly I will spend more in acquiring the pleasure of this world. than the pleasure of paradise. The pleasure of this world is deceitful things. Something that deceives us. It will not remain with us any longer than the time of our life. Even when we grow old, we don't enjoy sex anymore. When we gone to 60 or 70, we may perform sex, but not as we used to do when we were young. It's a pleasure which will be deceived. Deceive means it will not last for long. Go for the eternal pleasure of paradise. Work very hard in this world in order to become the true believer of the good deeds, and even better, the lover of Allah. Okay.